if you noticed, I've actually refrained from reporting on this story for a very good reason. My background has sort of a vested interest in this story. Why? Well, because I was given a second chance. And Obama setting to release nearly 6,600 federal inmates starting this weekend. They essentially are going to be given a second chance. A lot of people out here are under the misconception that a lot of violent criminals are going to be released, and that's just not true. A lot of this has to do with inmates who are in there for drug crimes. Drug crimes are not violent crimes, okay? And my opinion is, for the people out there who state that these people need to be left in there and do their sentence that they've been given, but yet we can't even come together as a people and state that the real criminals need to be put behind bars or do anything about it because, well, politicians are not going to police themselves. So all I can say is that if I have been given a second chance and I'm doing what I'm doing, can I actually state that some of these guys right here don't deserve a second chance? That they may come out here and lead a productive life in doing something? I can't state that. That's why I have been backed away from this story. Now I'm going to offer up my opinion, and there you go. Well, here's appears to be something else that President Obama is going to put the screws to America. Well, with this upcoming United Nations Climate Summit in Paris, there appears to be some proposed draft text of the climate treaty that will create a tribunal that will take up issues such as climate justice, climate finance, technology transfers, and climate debt. And Congress would be bypassed, left out in the cold by this climate deal, critics say. So basically, this tribunal or this court would allow third world countries to drag the United States into court over this climate debt. And who do you think is going to be held responsible for that debt? That's right, you and me. And when it comes to the subject of climate change, Putin has repeatedly expressed his skepticism regarding climate change. And this skepticism dates back to the early 2000s when he had his staff do very, very extensive work trying to understand all sides of the climate debate. Putin's senior economic advisor at the time, now a senior fellow at the Cato Institute in Washington, we found that while climate change does exist, it is cyclical and the anthropogenic role is very limited, he said. It became clear that the climate is a complicated system and that so far the evidence presented for the need to fight global warming was rather unfounded. I told you that we were going to see some more stories come up after we witnessed the Circuit Court of Appeals over in New York and Connecticut uphold the constitutionality of the Safe Gun Law Act over there, right? Well, Councilman Paul Krikorian, he has sponsored a measure, and it was voted upon October 27th for the city of Los Angeles, and the council voted unanimously. All handguns will be required to be locked or disabled inside the owner's home. They do not go and state exactly how they are going to police the public to make sure that they're abiding by the law, but know that they are creating it right here. On a story that I reported on yesterday that I do believe warrants some deeper investigation, the story out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, where witnesses state that a man armed with a rifle walked down the street in broad daylight like he had not a care in the world, and he shot and killed 3 people. Well, that's according to witnesses. Yet authorities are refusing to release many details about this Saturday morning shooting. The suspect has not been identified, and police are looking for a motive. Yet, I do not understand all of the secrecy behind this story. It is what it is. We've had so many stories that have refused to release the identity immediately. Take, for instance, the Umpqua Community College, where we were fed all kinds of different stories throughout the whole day. And if you look at the story, it appears to be pure bullcrap. And if I look at this story a little bit closer, it has all of the earmarks of a story that is pure bullcrap. A mother whose son was killed by a illegal immigrant drunk driver, Marianne Mendoza, says she has been pleading for a meeting with Obama in the White House to discuss the politically charged issue of illegal alien criminals. Well, she's gone on to state that she has not received any response to her multiple requests, and she cannot believe that all of these other people could be receiving invites to the White House, such as the hoax bomb boy, yet she can't even get a response to her request for a meet. Well, you've all have heard of the $1 Million Man. Well, this man right here is the $20 trillion man. Coming into office around 2009, the national debt was at already a staggering $10.6 trillion, and he has nearly doubled that so far. Well, according to this, Obama's spending agreement with Congress will suspend the nation's debt limit and allow the Treasury to borrow another $1.5 trillion or so by the end of his presidency in 2017. Added to the current total national debt of more than $18.15 trillion, the red ink will likely be crowding the $20 trillion mark right around the time Obama leaves the White House. Yeah, like he's really going to be leaving. In a TV show by this man right here, Jesse Ventura, Conspiracy Theories, he did a show regarding FEMA camps, and one of those FEMA camps that was presented in that TV show is making the news again. T. Don Hutto Detention Facility has approximately 30 women right now that are on a hunger strike that are demanding their immediate release. They are claiming that they were left with no choice but to flee their country because they had very few rights, and they expected to come here and have all the rights to be given to them, and well, they're demanding release, saying that is against their civil rights. An amazing story of survival here. 14-year-old girl was struck while trick-or-treating last night. She was not hit by one car, but two cars and drugged for 2 miles. She is alive in the hospital, and she is speaking, and you can check out the story right here. An amazing story indeed. And although that was an amazing story, there is a story to report of tragedy that took place last night with 3 youngsters that were trick-or-treating in New York City, where they stayed an out-of-control car plowed into a group of trick-or-treaters, killing 3 people, including a 10-year-old girl, and injuring 4 others. This according to police. This horrific incident took place around 5 p.m. as a group of trick-or-treaters walked down a quiet residential block in the Morris Park neighborhood of the Bronx.